Hello guys, it's Peter here from Spare and Tackle. Just want to run you through a few important maintenance tips for your Ulterra to keep it running smoothly into the future. We see a lot of people come in the shop that don't maintain their Ulterra and they wonder why it's broken. So if you do these simple maintenance steps, it will keep it running good. For that, we're going to need a few basic tools, which we've got here. Number 3 Phillips head screwdriver, a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, a little flat screwdriver, a 3/16 Allen key wrench, and a 14mm socket. So, and we've got your dielectric grease, bit of degreaser, and some food grade silicone spray, which is it's got no solvents in it. You don't want to use spray that's got solvents for this. Okay, and a couple of clean rags. So we'll deploy the Ulterra. We'll trim it down. And what we'll now do is we need to get to here. So if this is on your boat, you just get an old paint pail or something, unclick the release on the trim module, lift it up. That'll give us access to this area and this area. Now we've got the motor lifted up, we've got access to underside the trim module, which these 2 rings that we need to clean. And we need to clean here and grease these power bushes that supply the power to the trim module. So we take a rag, spray a bit of degreaser on it, and we can get up in here and we're going to clean those rings up. Nice, get all any old grease off them, and then we're going to wipe it dry with another part of the rag. Once we've done that, we can then apply some of this dielectric grease lightly to those rings. And we're going to, this is a new motor, so it's not dirty, so I don't need to clean it, but if there was any old grease there, we'd cleaned away with the rag. And then we're going to get this dielectric grease and we're going to put it all around these brushes. This is to stop salt water getting in to your underside of your brushes. Otherwise you'll end up with some green death in there. The brushes will fail and no power goes to here. So we do that. And we take the small screwdriver, flat blade screwdriver, and we just work it into those. We just work it in nicely like so. Do it all around, all 4 brushes. This is a negative brush here, which is the one that needs the most attention. But making sure we've got that dielectric grease and we've worked it in there. So we're now done with that. So what we can also do is we can put a little bit of dielectric grease around the output tube here. Work that in with your finger. That'll help prevent any salt water ingress into your steering box and keep it running a lot longer. And we do the same on the underside of the steering box here on that output tube. So now we've done there, we can just take the bucket away, bring that down, that'll click back into place. I'll just pull the lever, it clicks back in. Yeah, so after we've lifted that trim module up, we now have to do a park reset. So, because we've only got a green light, not a solid green and red light. So we just turn the motor off. We'll turn it back on again and hold it for around about 10 seconds. The red light will come on and then the green light will flash. So once we've done that, we then hold that button in for 3 seconds. That will turn the motor off. We then return the motor on. We've got a solid green light, no red light. We're going to press the power button 3 times in quick succession, which initiates a park reset. That brings the motor up to the bottom of the steering box, and then it will trim back down to its right position. We now should have stow appearing on our remote. So if we just press the stow button now, the motor will put itself away. Now we're going to just check this side the motor. So we need to take this cover off using our number 3 fillet screwdriver. Remove the cover. We can put a little bit of dielectric grease on that screwdriver. It doesn't need much. If it's dirty and crappy, clean it up first. But just every now and then we need to have a look. This magnetic switch can give trouble, so we're just every so often we need to take this cover off. Now in this case, this motor has the late model switch because it's a new motor. Okay, this one doesn't give any trouble. All we're going to do with that one is make sure there's no salt encrusted on it, clean it up, and we're going to give it a bit of a spray with the silicone spray. If you've got an older motor, you'll have this magnetic switch, which you can see is easy to distinguish. It has a fillet's head screw in it. You need to undo that screw and clean the sleeve which is inside, put some dielectric grease on there, put it back together and refit it to the motor. Otherwise it will get jammed over a period of time, and the motor will launch, the switch is stuck, it doesn't know where it is, it won't stow. So that's why we do that. So then we just put that back on. Make sure that that little wire is in where there's a little cutout for it. Otherwise you can pinch the wire. Okay. So that's sorted out now. Just trim this motor down and I'll turn it around. Yeah, so we're going to check our shear pin and clean the shaft if necessary and grease it. So this should be done every 6 months. So we're going to undo the locking nut there, remove the propeller. There's your shear pin. This is nice and clean, it's a new motor, but you might get a bit of corrosion and shit around there, so we're going to clean that up and we're going to put some dielectric grease on there, just so if you do get a shear pin failure, you'll be able to get it out because it'll have grease on it and it'll come out. And then we just pop the pop back on. Nice easy job. Now we can put our motor away. So if we hit stow, it'll go back to the stowing position. And that's all good. Finally, just want to make sure that the motor is not tight on the ramps. So there should be a tiny little bit of movement there. If it's really stiff, sometimes it will create your problems when you're trying to launch the motor. The trim motor has to work too hard. There could be some debris behind the steering box, so it always needs to be clean. And if the motor is too tight on the ramps, you'll end up cracking the ramps or wrecking your trim module. So just bring it in and we can sort that out for you real easily to give you a bit more play here. What we need to do now is we'll put our side plate back on. We're going to spray the shaft, which is going to hide in between here while it's there. We're just going to spray a bit of silicone spray on there. Take a clean rag, we're going to wipe the excess off. Then we're gonna stow the motor. And I'm gonna get the silicone spray, and I'm gonna spray along the shaft, bit on the belt, wipe off the excess. This will keep your shaft running through the steering box and trim module nice and smoothly. Prevent any excessive wear. Makes it launch easier as well. So there we are. We've pretty well done the service now. It's pretty simple, and if you keep that sort of maintenance regime up on these motors, they won't let you down. If you don't service it, you'll be coming in the shop, and we'll have some major repairs to do for you. So I hope that helps everybody, and we'll catch you later. Ciao.